Okay, Houston, we're maneuvering to the burn attitudes. Copy that, 12. Okay, Pete, we'll give you a radar vector on this one. Sounds like a pretty good vector. Sounds like a pretty good vector. Sounds like a pretty good vector. Okay, Pete, we'll give you a radar vector on this one. Sounds like a pretty good vector. Houston, 12. Copy that, 12. Sounds like a pretty good vector. Sounds like a pretty good vector. Sounds like a pretty good vector.
All right. Welcome to the Quarren Stream. Sadly, the Quarren Stream continues. You know, I'm vaccinated, but who knows, you know? My audio. Looks like it's going good. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Desk mic station. Everything's looking good. So what are we doing today? What are we talking about today? I had a long week of struggling with getting this Odyssey 2 modded. You can see in the background here, I've got my original Odyssey 2 box. I got this system years ago, probably 10 years ago. I think like a swap meet or something like that. I got a big box of Odyssey games and an Odyssey system and the Odyssey voice module. I'll switch over to, let's see how the soldered desk is looking here. I've got it kind of rigged up. So there's the Odyssey. You can see I've got a mic going to the voice module. And right now I have it programmed to say RetroTech presents Odyssey 2 in HD. So let's hear how that sounds.
RetroTech presents Odyssey 2 in HD.
That's pretty cool. You know, I think that's pretty cool anyway.
RetroTech presents Odyssey 2 in HD.
Now it's a little hot in the Geek Cave, so I've got a lot of fans going today. So hopefully that's not going to be too annoying to people. But yeah, so this is a system from 1981 or 1982. It's a system that's contemporaneous with the Intellivision and the ColecoVision in terms of obviously it was competing with the Atari 2600, but it's considered to be from a slightly later generation than that because it did come out in the 80s, and it's Magnavox's second attempt at creating a game system. Obviously, the Odyssey 1 came out in the 70s, and the difference between the Odyssey 1 and the Odyssey 2 is that the Odyssey 1 actually shipped with all of its games baked into the system itself, and while they did sell cartridges, the cartridges were actually just jumpers for the different games. So you'd put the cartridge in, and there wasn't any program on the card itself. It was just a bank switch between different types of games. Whereas the Odyssey 2 was a more modern cartridge type system. And one thing about the Odyssey is that the industrial design is pretty cool. Each of the carts has like this little kind of handle on the top, you know. Hold on, I'm getting texts here. Let's see, it's Toon. What's he got to say for himself, you know? He's just talking nonsense, you know. As usual. Let me get this over to the Twitch management tool, you know. So anyway, the industrial design of this system. Each cart had a handle. I mean, it's a pretty standard looking cartridge, but a lot sturdier than I think an Atari 2600 cart is. Like if you look at the bottom, let me see if I can get this to focus on it. Let me see if I can get that to focus. It's kind of hard to tell, but this is like a metal housing here that the cart has inside of it, so that it's just a little bit, you know, and it kind of slides up and down similar to the way a 5200 cart would, so that it protects the pins on the cart connector there. But it's just kind of these things feel a little bit more sturdy than even the, you know, relatively sturdy 2600 carts felt. And the other thing is that there was like a unity to the art design for these games. So like you can see these like very colorful kind of day glow sort of box art, and each of the games kind of had this style. So let me see if I can find another one. You know, so kind of like a, I don't know, like an album cover almost, you know, definitely inspired by like the 70s, 80s sort of sci-fi album covers of the time. And I have a box of these games, and I've actually really never played much Odyssey 2 because before I did the mod, it had an RF out, and that was it. And you know, it's just hard to play games. It's definitely hard to. I definitely can't stream games like that because it's hard for me to capture RF. I do have a demodulator, but I just would have to set it up every time. So the nice thing about this is that I can get the Odyssey set up somewhere and just kind of have it constantly plugged in, or plugging it in is a little easier than it would be if it had stayed an RF system. So let's switch back over to the soldering desk. We can take a little closer look at the system itself. So right now, sitting on top, this is the voice module, and this actually sits on top of the Odyssey 2, which is this lower piece here, similar to the way that like a Sega 32X would. It just clips in place, and inside the voice there's a ribbon cable and a second cartridge slot. So like you plug this into the cartridge slot of the Odyssey 2, and then you plug the card into the top of the voice, and there's like a pass through to the Odyssey itself. The only downside of the voice is that it does not have audio out, so it has an integrated speaker. So when you have the voice module going, like that's coming out of this speaker up here, which I have a microphone going to, so that we can hear, like what's going on. And at some point, I'm going to try to see if I can mod the system so that I can integrate the speaker into the audio that's coming out of the Odyssey 2 itself. But I haven't quite done that yet. So we'll get around to that, and we'll see, we'll see if I can get that working, because the voice is very cool, and there's several games that incorporate the voice in kind of an interesting way. So let's talk about the games. We'll switch back over to headshot mode here, talking head mode. So almost, maybe all, but a large majority of the games on the Odyssey 2 were actually programmed by the same guy. They were programmed by a guy whose name is on here somewhere. I think his first name is Eric. I think it's just in here as E. Everett. I think it's Eric Everett. Basically programmed like 60 of these games that exist. There was a few, I guess you might call third-party games that came out for Odyssey 2, but they're pretty rare. There was 2 iMagic games. So there was Demon Attack, which also came out for like 2600 and stuff, and Phoenix, I think, came out. Then there was also Frogger had a release on the Odyssey, and I think there might have been 1 or 2 more. Unfortunately, I don't own any of those. I'd love to do like a side-by-side comparison of the Odyssey 2 port of Frogger versus the 2600. Personally, these games are they're pretty basic. Like I do think that the graphics are better than at a 2600, but it's kind of like, from what I understand, the sprites are are character sprites. So like the reason that all the little guys look the same is just because it's just like a character. So it's kind of like how the Commodore PET had character graphics that it would use in every single game, and so the little man that you'd run around as looked the same from game to game. And Odyssey is the same way. So we'll see a couple of those little stick figure guys in some of the games that we have. But let's take a look at what I have, and we'll decide what we want to play. How about that? Let's take a look through the Odyssey 2 game collection of Retrotech Studios here. So this is one we'll definitely play at some point today. This is kind of a fun game. So we've got a 2-in-1 cart, Out of This World, and Helicopter Rescue. Out of This World is seems like it's kind of a lunar lander clone. It's kind of where it's going from, and Helicopter Rescue sounds like it's going to be Choplifter, but it's a little different than that. We can play some. It's kind of like a crane game or something like that. You got Blackout Breakdown, which is Breakout basically, I think. And I should say I haven't played most of these games, so I'm just making an assumption here. Pocket Billiard, so I'm guessing that's probably billiards. Las Vegas Blackjack. In the 80s, a lot of these systems, the games were essentially just digitized recreations of real games. Killer Bees. This is one I've heard a lot of good stuff about. I have not played it, but you move either joystick to start the game. Joystick controls your white swarm of bees. Sting alien bee bots by touching them. This first slows, then kills them. Beware of green, blue, and red swarms. Kill them with the bug zapper by pressing red action button. Bug zapper recharges next time you kill a bee bot. So that's how you play this game. Never played it, but I've read about it, and it's supposedly pretty action-packed. Of course, you've got another 2-in-1 cart. This is kind of a wild swing between sports here, but we got bowling and basketball in the same cart. So bowling and basketball, that might be kind of fun. Again, I haven't played any of these, so could be the best 8-bit bowling game you've ever played. Sid the Spellbinder. This is one that works with voice. This is kind of like a cross between Speak and Spell and Centipede. So there's a game part where you kind of shoot the little centipede guy, and then after you do a few rounds of that, it takes you to a thing where it asks you to spell different words. And if you correctly spell 3 words, you go back to the centipede-like game. So interesting. This is one actually I had. So if you think so, I'm always on Nintendo's case, and this is no different. But here's a gold cart in the Odyssey 2 sense. Odyssey had 3 of these games, and I actually have them, but they're up on the shelf here because they're these big boxes that were kind of like a hybrid board game, video game. And in this case, this is Conquest of the World, which is kind of like Risk. It's basically like Risk integrated with a video game. And someday I'll play them. You kind of need people to play them, and you set up the board. So at some point, I'd love to do a stream like that. But right now, here, hold on. This is a little out of focus. Come on, let's focus it in. But right now, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So hopefully sometime soon. Now let's get into some of the box games. So we've already taken a look at this one. This is Casey Munchkin. This is basically a Pac-Man clone. So this game was a game that came out, and then eventually there was some kind of legal problem with it because it was too much like Pac-Man. And so I think this is the common post-legal problem version, and there's one that's a little more Pac-Man-y that they redid, had to redo the graphics and stuff to make it look less like Pac-Man. Invaders from Hyperspace. This looks like maybe a kind of Tempesty or Asteroids-y looking at the back. Again, haven't played these, but there's the box art. It's pretty sweet. Next up, we have UFO, which is kind of like a Yar's Revenge type of a game. The Challenger series, these ones with the blue bottom, are sort of the ones that are seen as the most collectible, most desirable games in the Odyssey library. You got Attack of the Time Lord, which is kind of like Galaga meets Yar's Revenge, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, look at all these. And then I got a bunch of inserts too. So here's the Sid the Spellbinder instructions and a Sid the Spellbinder word book. That's pretty fun. Out of this world and helicopter rescue. How to play. Okay, let's see here. Out of this world, press 3 on the alphanumeric keyboard. The mothership at the top of the screen is a lunar orbiter. The landers immediately start their descent to the moon's surface. Fire retro rockets to achieve a soft landing by pressing the action button. The numbers, each lander will start a mission with 50 megajoules of energy. If a soft landing is achieved for the first descent, up to 20 megajoules of energy are added to your receptors to bring them up to a maximum of 60 megajoules. If your spaceship makes a crash landing, it requires 10 megajoules to make repairs. There's also a time penalty. Once on the moon surface, press the action button to fire your retro rockets and link up with the orbiting mothership at the top of the screen. A successful linkage will automatically refuel your receptors, and you can start again. Wow, that looks pretty fun. Pretty fun. So yeah, I got some of these inserts. That's pretty cool, Yeah, Killer Bees is definitely one that in my research on these games, I have heard the games I hear a lot about are Killer Bees, Freedom Fighters, which I do not have, and Pickaxe Pete, which I also do not have. Yet. Maybe I'll get a copy of them. The good thing about Odyssey games is that they're very inexpensive and easy to collect. Alien Invaders Plus, basically Space Invaders. Then we got, this is the one that was the pack-in game, Speedway, Spin-Out, and Cryptologic. So Speedway is kind of an overhead, kind of pole position-y game. Spin-Out is also a racing game, but it's on an overhead track like Turbo or something like that. And then Cryptologic, I don't have any idea. I guess maybe it's a Secret messages are scrambled by random transposition of ciphers that come out differently every time. You have to outthink the computers, it says. So, I don't know. I don't have Pickaxe Pete. I need to get a copy of it. But one thing I do have is baseball, the classic American pastime. And I have this is a pretty good cover. I have a little Thunderball. This is a pinball game. It's wildly realistic, according to the back. We'll be the judge of that, you know. Yet another space fighter type game. This looks like it might have voice connectivity. Cosmic Conflict. You're the commander of the Centurion, an Earth Federation starship guarding a remote corner of the galaxy. Well, that sounds pretty fun, you know? You gotta elude enemy starfighters that look suspiciously like TIE fighters, you know? And then the mascot of the Odyssey comes back for another voice-enabled game in Casey's Crazy Chase. So this is not necessarily a sequel to Casey Munchkin, but it's also another maze game that stars Casey, and it's kind of like, well, we'll play it and you'll see. It's a little weird. It's sort of like Pac-Man meets Centipede in a way. It's or Snake, I guess. It's like anti-Snake meets Pac-Man, you know? So let's start off with one that I like, but that's not super exciting. Let's play a little Helicopter Rescue. Unless there's one that the audience is dying to see right now, you know? Or I guess we could take you want to start off with a showstopper and go for Killer Bees first thing? All right, let's try some Killer Bees, you know? Okay, I'm going to go to gameplay mode and switch out the carts. Put in Killer Bees. And let's see what we got. Uh-oh, so far not so good. Killer Bees. Sweet. Is that showing up? Let's see if that shows up. Not showing up. What's going on, Killer Bees? That's awesome. All right. Well, I got it coming through on my video, but it's not coming through on the playthrough. Hold on. Killer Bees, what are you doing? Okay, there we go. Just a little bit of testy equipment there, you know? Here, let's reset it so you can see the sweet title screen. Check it out. Killer Bees. Now, I think that requires a nice cracking of an ice cold active ale, you know? One other kind of not great thing about this system is that it has integrated control sticks, meaning they are part of... Look at that, I got that one, okay. Okay, good. Oh. got that guy. I got that guy. Okay, watch out for the killer bee swarms. So the sounds of the marching around you would hear normally if you didn't have the voice module, but all that kind of like more bzz, bzz type stuff you only hear if you... Come on, come here. Oh. Ha ha! Did you hear that? Did you hear it talk to me? All right, here we go. Oh, I can use it to block it. This is pretty great. Pretty great. Gotta say, this is a lot of fun. Oh, I got that one. Did you see me get that one? You got it, buddy. Nope. Oh, crap. Oh. I wonder if I get more points by damaging the evil swarms, or if I get more points by saving my shots of anti-swarm juice. Come on. Okay, come on. Got him. Level 4, here we go. Oh, okay. Steady. Okay. Come here. Got him. And the joystick is very responsive. It's self-centering. It's got a good feel to it. It's springy, you know, even after 40 years. Okay, got that one. Nice. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, I got two at once. Two at one blow. Okay, watch out. Oh, the blue. Ooh, the blue. The evil blue. I wonder what that pew sound is. Oh, I only have one bee left. Look at that. Ah! They really got my bees. Fiddlesticks. Oh, they're running so fast. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. They're going so fast. No! I can't stop them. Oh, God, they're turning red. The angry bee swarms are red. No. Look at them chase me. Oh, they got me. Oh. So that's Killer Bees. That's pretty fun. I got to admit. I think we'll play one more round of Killer Bees. You know. Come on. Oh. Oh. I wonder if they have a fixed pattern. Like, I wonder if there's like the perfect game of Killer Bees. You know? Come here. Ooh. I got you, sucker. Oh, ooh, they got a few of my bees. I like that your swarm size is basically like your health bar almost, you know? That's kind of cool. Oh man, you gotta have your volume on for this. I mean, that's the key, is hearing your guy say more, 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 you know? But that's okay. Oh, oh, oh. Got you, sucker. Okay, okay. Oh, look at my one bee. Nice. No! Haven't been able to get past level 8. That's when they start getting a little fast. So that's Killer Bees. What do we think? Pretty fun, eh? Let's try. All right, we're going to play some Helicopter Rescue. No, that's not Helicopter Rescue. All right, this is Helicopter Rescue. Here we go. So the cool thing about Helicopter Rescue, or one of the cool things I think, is watch this animation of the helicopter turning around. Isn't that cool? Come on, for 1981... the fidelity of that turn, the clean crispness. I mean, that is pretty cool, you know? It's not exactly Choplifter, though, because watch this. Because in Choplifter, right, you would try to land and the guy would get in, but you can't do it that way. So in this one, there's no shooting. You're basically just dropping a bucket down by pressing the button. You press the button once and hold it down to drop it. The guy gets in, you press the button again. You pull him all the way up to your chopper. You fly back over here. And then you lower him down. And this was what was considered fun in these days. Oh my god, I missed the... Alright. So you can see I'm wasting a lot of time raising and lowering this guy. But it does have a cool helicopter sound. All right, this should do it. This should do the business. And bingo bango, there you go, 1 point. Helicopter Rescue, that's the whole game. You fly over here. There's one guy over here. There's no tanks. So definitely not as fun as Choplifter. And honestly, maybe this game came out before Choplifter. I honestly don't know. It would have been like 80, 81 or 82. Let's see. We're going to go in tight. We're going in tight and hard. Yeah, there we go. 2 points. Only got 5 seconds left. That's it. I'm out of time. My helicopter has stopped moving. Helicopter rescue, ladies and gentlemen. These games, by the way, would cost $50 at Sears, okay? So this is your game experience, your $50 game experience. And today, people are complaining about 99-cent iOS games, you know? All right, let's try the other game on this cart, which is like a Lunar Lander knockoff. Oh, damn it. Come on, I want to spend my microjoules. Oh. Game over. Ooh, look at that. Okay. Oh, I missed. Come on, you think the lunar module up there would be a little easier for me to get to, you know? All right. Let's... Yes, I did it. That's right. That's right. I just beat the game, everybody. I just beat the game. Okay, let's see if I can do it again. Okay, he's gonna do a fast one. Okay, let's get it. Yes! I'm a wizard. Okay, nice soft landing. Okay. And let's see. He's going to do a fast one. Oh, I missed him. Oh, I didn't quite do it. Commander Shepard. You did not do a very good job on that one. Again, these games... This is a $50 game experience. You know? Uh-oh. Oh, I missed. I did 2 in a row. I really thought I had the goods. Okay, a little thrust. Okay, we landed. Easy breezy. Bingo, bango, sugar in the gas tank. Oh. A second too late on the reaction time, you know? I'll never make Top Gun like that. Would have been pretty sweet if I had timed that just right. But I didn't. And instead, I'm a crater on impact. All right, well, you know, I think you guys get the idea of that one. Pretty fun, you know, pretty basic, but pretty fun. Definitely not as good as Killer Bees. All right, let's test my spelling ability here, you know? Oh, Zane's dad. You already missed Killer Bees and you missed helicopter rescue slash... what's the other one called? We can go back to Killer Bees. That was pretty fun. We did helicopter rescue slash Out of This World, which is kind of a lunar lander knockoff. And we're about to play some Sid the Spellbinder. So I'll switch over to the solder desk here. You can see I have the microphone set up to the voice module here, so we can capture the speech as it talks to us, you know. And so we're looking at this is the kind of stuff Zane's dad will be into. Where this is an RGB modded Odyssey 2, as you know, using the RGB mod from Grips 3 at Atari Age. And it's coming out in SCART, RGB SCART, into a RetroTink SCART to RGB component converter. That is then going into my G-Comp switch, and then that is going into, the G-Comp switch runs into my RetroTink 2X, Pro 2X, which converts it into HDMI, which goes to my streaming station here. And so we get clean, crisp HD video through a variety of different connections and upscalers, et cetera, et cetera. And definitely the investment in playing Odyssey 2 games, some people might find questionable, but not me. And as you can see, we are in full color. I fixed all my problems. I actually didn't talk too much about that. So this, I had two big problems with this. When I first set it up, it was basically, I did the full mod, I wired everything up, I soldered everything together, and when I turned it on, it was acting like I had not put a cart into the game. And it took me a while to figure out that I had accidentally wired the audio out to the cartridge port and not to the integrated circuit that the audio comes out of, and that was preventing me from loading games. So I fixed that. And then I was getting video, but it was missing blue and green. So it was like black, white, and red was showing up. And I figured out that when I took the RF module out, there was this ground wire that went from the RF module to the board itself. And I reinstalled this to the mod thinking that it needed to be grounded because the mod has ground out and stuff like that. And this was the cause of the problem. So I took this off, and now we've got color. So this little wire here, the Grips very nicely offered to have me ship the Odyssey 2 back to Connecticut to have him fix it, but I didn't need to because this was causing the problem, and I figured it out, and everything's great. So now that we've got the voice module set up, let's play a game that is specific to the voice module, and that is Sid the Spellbinder.
Select skill. Choose 1 or 2. Skill 1. Monster attack. Open fire.
So I guess Sid is a monster, although he looks pretty cute, you know? So this is kind of like, I don't know, Space Invaders meets Centipede. All right.
Now spell best.
Vest? Best?
B-E-S-T. That is correct. Good. Now spell happy. H-A-P-P-Y. That is correct. Okay. Now spell please. P-L-E-A-S-E. That is correct. Monster attack. Open fire.
Now we go back to this part. You get to play some more fun. See, this is like kind of an edutainment game, right? Like you get to play this extremely fun caterpillar shooting game, I guess. And then when you're done with the caterpillar shooting game, you go back to spelling.
Okay, now spell brother. B-R-O-T-H-E-R. That is correct. Good. Okay, now spell help. H-E-L-P. That is correct. Now spell Sid. S-A-I-D. That is correct. Good. Monster attack. Open fire.
Oh, he's going fast. Oh God, I'm doing
Watch out.
too good at this game.
Watch out.
Yeah, I think this is an example of them using the same character, graphics, because the character graphics are all just this, shared, right?
Watch
They're
out.
Just
Watch
a
out.
font. Uh-oh, he's gonna get me. Oh, I got him.
Now spell back.
Back.
B-A-C-K. That is correct. Good. Now spell girl. G-I-R-L. That is correct. Good. Okay. Now spell think. T-H-I-N-K-K. That is incorrect.
Oop, double K.
Please try again. Spell think. T-H-I-N-K-K. K. That is incorrect.
Ah, it's double K in me here.
Correct spelling of think is T-H-I-N-K. Monster attack. Open fire. Watch out.
Come on, baby.
Watch out. Watch out.
Oh God. Oh man, how am I ever gonna get this guy? Oh. Nope.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now spell water.
Water. Okay.
W-A-T-E-R. That is correct. Okay. Now spell again. A-G-A-I-N. That is correct. Good. Now spell day. D-A-Y. That is correct. Good. Monster attack. Open fire.
Oh.
Watch out. Watch out.
Oh crap. Sorry. I got so into it here. You guys are just seeing the boring system. All right, that's okay. Thank you for telling me that.
Watch out.
All right, let's get him. Ah!
Gotcha. Now spell today.
So they must have sprite scaling because his little head gets bigger, you know?
T-A-D-A-Y. That is
And I guess if it's like a... Oh, T-A-D-A-Y.
Try again.
Today.
Spell today. O-D-A-Y. That is incorrect. The correct spelling of today is T-O-D-A-Y.
Yep.
Now spell
Brad is here too. It's Brad and Zane's dad, my two bros.
B-R-A-I-N. That is incorrect. Please try again. Spell bring.
Oh, bring. Not brain.
B-R-I-N-G. That is correct. Now spell last. L-A-S-T. That is correct. Good. Monster attack. Open fire. Watch out. Watch out.
Come on, baby. I suck at this game.
Watch out. Watch out.
Haha.
Okay.
Got you, sucker.
Now spell then. T-H-E-N. That is incorrect. Please try again. Spell then.
Not then? Ben?
T-H-A-N. That is correct.
Then. Okay.
Okay, now spell about. A-B-O-U-T. That is correct.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, now spell let. Y-E-T. That is incorrect. Please
Oh, wet.
try again. Spell let. W-E-T. That is incorrect. The correct spelling of let is L-E-T.
Let.
Monster attack. Open fire. Watch out! Watch out!
His little head is gonna pop
Watch
out.
out.
I'll get him. I'll get him. Ah,
Gotcha!
gotcha.
Now spell king.
King?
K-I-N-G. That is incorrect. Please try again. Spell king. P-I-N-G. That is incorrect. The correct spelling of thing
Oh,
is
thing. Thing.
H-I-N-G. Now spell book. B-O-O-K. That is correct. Good.
Got that one.
Now spell into. I-N-T-O. That is correct.
My in button is a little sticky.
Monster attack. Open fire.
Alright, well, I'm too good at
Watch
spelling
out.
for this game. I mean, eventually he's going
Watch
to
out.
get me through the attrition of him going at full speed here, you know?
Watch out. Watch out.
Gotcha, he's going to say, little jerk.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Now spell min. M-E-N. That is correct. Good. Okay. Now spell bed. B-E-D. That is correct. Now spell father. F-A-T-H-E-R. That is correct. Monster attack. Open fire. Watch out.
let's just see what happens if I lose all my bullets here. Come on.
Watch out. Watch out.
Watch out.
Gotcha. Sorry, you blew it.
You blew it. Gotcha. All right, so that's Sid the Spellbinder. So we could stick with a similar theme and play a little Casey's Crazy Chase to see the same little guy appear there. That's nice. Nope. Come on, Casey's Crazy Chase.
Go. Ouch. Oh no. Go. Watch out. Ouch. Oh
Oh,
no.
I can't get his head. I have to get this back.
Go. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Hurry. Hurry. Incredible. Go.
Ah! Incredible. Oh, okay. No.
Watch out!
Where's this guy going?
Watch out!
All right, here we go. Yeah, buddy. Let's get this guy.
Incredible. Go! Run! Out! Oh,
Oh.
no!
It kind of sounds like the
Go!
gauntlet guy
Watch out.
too, you know?
Out!
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
no!
Oh,
No.
okay. After you eat a body
Watch
part, you
out.
can eat the ghost things. Okay,
Watch out.
Let's try that.
Hurry!
Oh, they just kind of spin around like that. Okay, no problem.
Watch out! Incredible. Go! Hurry! Run!
Incredible.
Watch out! Watch out!
So is the danger that he's going to eat all the
Incredible.
trees? Is that what I'm trying to stop happening
Watch
here?
out! Out! Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Go! Run!
Yeah, I'm going as fast as I can. Jeez.
Watch out! Watch out! Incredible! Go! Run! Hurry! Out! Oh no!
Oh, I thought I was spinning around like I had...
Go!
All right, never mind. Never mind,
Hurry.
Casey Munchkin. Come on, let's go, let's go. Good, get
Watch
through.
out!
Come on, buddy.
Hurry!
I think my next step is going to be to do a mod for
Hurry.
the controllers. I actually like these controllers, but I need to be able to not sit 2 feet away from the system,
Watch out.
you know? God, now he's chasing me, little jerk.
Run! Out!
Oh.
No!
Oh, no.
Run! Watch out!
Incredible.
Go! Watch out! Out! Oh no!
Guy got me first.
Go!
Incredible.
Watch out! Watch out! Watch out!
Okay, yeah.
Incredible! Go!
This game definitely needs a pause button.
Watch out! Hurry!
Oh, damn. Okay.
Watch out! Out! Oh no!
Casey Munchkin. Incredible.
Incredible! Go! Run! 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 Run!
I'm running. What do you want from me?
Watch out! Incredible! Go! Watch out! Hurry! Run! Run! Incredible! Go! Hurry! Run! Out! Oh no! Go! Watch out! Incredible! Go! Watch out!
Incredible.
Watch out. Hurry. Out. Oh, no.
Oh, I ran into his head.
Go. Watch out. Hurry. Watch out. Incredible.
Yes!
Go. Watch out. Hurry. Watch out. Run. Watch out.
He also kind of has a Sonic style idle animation too. I think. Like if I just sit here, like his little and he does like a move of his antennas. Hold on, let me find a safe space to sit for a sec.
Watch out.
Yeah, see that? His little ears.
Watch out.
It's like, hey, come here and
watch out.
He's just a fun character, Casey Munchkin, you know? I know, he's like waving goodbye to you with his little ears. Oh, no.
Hurry, run. Hurry. Hurry. Incredible. Go. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out.
Come on.
Hurry. Run. Hurry. Watch out.
I mean, he's telling me to hurry, but why? Like what am I? Is there a timer? I mean, you know, why am I doing what I'm doing is what I'm asking. You know? Oh no!
Go. Watch out.
All right, so that's Casey's Crazy Chase. Let's take a little break. I'm going to crack open an ice cold Kirkland brand sparkling water. What do we feel like seeing next, you know? Should I jump right into Casey Munchkin, you know, just to keep the KC, the world of KC together, maybe? Let's see what we got. Cosmic Conflict, Baseball, Speedway Spinout, Alien Invaders Plus. That's pretty fun. UFO. Yeah, we'll do Casey Munchkin next just to round out the series. Slightly different. The G-Comp SCART switch does not always respond perfectly to this thing, you know? There we go. Incredible. All right, so here is the first Casey game. He's not rolling around. Obviously pretty Pac-Man inspired. Is there a way to eat these ghosts? I don't. That's not it, whatever that is. Oh my god, oh, I'm dead again. Okay, here we go. Let's go up. Yes, eat the colored pellets, and then I can eat the ghosts. Got it! But I had to not die on my way there, you know? I like that these games seemingly give you unlimited, okay, oh, there, yeah, I see, they're purple at that point. And then the dots are kind of moving around. Here we go. I'm going to finish a board. And you didn't think it was possible, but now it is. I mean, boy, this is just Pac-Man, isn't it? You know? Oh, look at it running away from me. Oh, I thought I got it, but I guess not. Isn't there that in Pickaxe P too? Like the levels themselves eventually become invisible? Come on, let's get it. Yeah, eat that guy. Damn. Ah! I wanted to eat that guy. So far, I think Killer Bees is my favorite of these. I thought I was going to come out big for Casey's Crazy Chase, and it was fun, but it did not quite have as much variety for me, I don't think, you know? I mean, I really think that's what these games seem to suffer from the most, is kind of a lack of variety, you know? Ah. This guy. Look at him. Casey. I have UFO. I don't have Freedom Fighters. You want to see UFO? I've never played it before. So let's do it. I think we got the gist of Casey Munchkin. It's a not horrible Pac-Man clone, but a Pac-Man clone nonetheless. Let's see if I can clear this board. We'll move to the next. We'll move to UFO. Oh, get it. Ah, no, go, Casey Munchkin. Ah. Yeah. Do I have UFO? I think I have UFO boxed. Let's take a look. Yes, I do. Okay, at the request of Zane's dad, I've got my boxed copy of UFO. Pretty good condition, you know. It's been sitting in a box. It's got the original sticker. Looks like somebody bought this for $14.97, but there's a layer of about I don't know, 6 or 7 price tags on there, so it was heavily discounted by the time it was sold. Damn, pristine. I don't even know if this thing's ever even been used. Like, some of these metal things on the bottom are all corroded and puckered and horrible, and this thing just looks brand new. All right, let's fire it up. Does UFO talk to you, Zane's dad? I don't know. All right. let's see. Let's take a look at the UFO instruction manual here. See, we got this on the cover here. Important. Always be sure that the power... Okay, yes. To insert the cartridge, turn on the power by pressing the select game will appear. Press the reset key on the alphanumeric keyboard. Press space on the alphanumeric keyboard. You are now in command of one of Earth Federation's robot-controlled battle cruisers. It is displayed at the center of your screen. Your ship is armed with a laser cannon and protected by an energized force field. Press the action button on the right-hand controller to fire your laser cannon. It will fire in the direction indicated by the white dot in your force field. The white dot will rotate to aim in the direction your ship is traveling. You have an unlimited supply of ammunition. Use the joystick of the right-hand controller to maneuver your ship on the screen, blah, blah, blah. You will encounter 3 types of UFOs. The first simply drifts randomly in space. A more sophisticated version seems to carry special equipment that enables 2 of them to link when sensors detect your spacecraft. The result is an infinitely more dangerous hunter-killer UFO with search and destroy capabilities. The third kind of UFO has been tentatively identified as a light-speed starship armed with computer-guided missiles. All 3 types of UFOs will disintegrate if hit by your lasers or if they come in contact with your force field. Your force field will be drained of energy when you fire your lasers or if it comes in contact with any UFO. Okay. Your ship will travel at half speed while your force field is recharging. Your recharging force field starts out black. It becomes blue. Wow. Becomes blue on a color TV, it points out here. So this was written in the time when you could have been playing this on a black and white TV, you know? Your ship will disintegrate and your turn is over whenever your ship comes in contact with any UFO or your protective force field is not intact. Okay, you get a score. Press reset and press space to begin. All right. Oh, I'm dead. Okay. I quite got the hang of move and shoot. Uh-oh. Ooh, it got me. Yeah, I have Alien Invaders Plus. I'm definitely not doing very good at UFO. But I do like the colorful graphics. No. Alright, I have Attack of the Time Lord too. Since I think you weren't here when I went through all the games right at the top, I'll go through them in a sec, and we can see if there's any must play in there. You know? This game is hindered a little bit by this kind of seemingly difficult to control direction of your shooting. Seems like you do more damage just by running into your force field. Oh, got too close. Monkey Shines I don't have. That's another one I don't have. I don't have Pickaxe Pete's. I gotta get that. I gotta get Monkey Shines. And Freedom Fighters. I do have Killer Bees, which was fun. All right, that's UFO. We get the idea, you know? It looks pretty fun. We'll look at the box games first. So I've got Invaders from Hyperspace, Attack of the Time Lord, Alien Invaders Plus, Thunderball, Cosmic Conflict, that's the one you were just mentioning. Casey's Crazy Chase, which we just saw. Casey Munchkin, which is over there too. The national pastime of baseball. And this was the pack-in game, I'm led to believe. Speedway, Spin Out, and Crypto Logic. So those are the games I have that are boxed. Here, we'll probably check out some of those, you know. And then of the unboxed stuff that I haven't played yet, there's Type and Tell, which is just a speak and spell type of game for the voice. There's a double pack of bowling / basketball. Las Vegas Blackjack. Pocket Billiards. Blockout Breakdown, and then I have an unboxed copy of Conquest of the World. I also have a boxed copy of Conquest of the World, but for some reason I just have that. So I also have Quest for the Rings, Conquest of the World, and Wall Street Fortune Hunt, but you know. And then stuff we already played was Sid the Spellbinder, Out of This World / Helicopter Rescue, Killer Bees, and the Casey Munchkin games. Let's try Cosmic Conflict. That one looked kind of cool. I don't know. We'll see. Wait, that one doesn't talk to us, though. Wow. Myers Toy World, $2.99 for Cosmic Conflict. Let's do some Attack of the Time Lord just to get some voice in here, you know? Oh, yeah? Blockout next? Okay, let's try that. Blockout Breakdown. Press 1 or 0. Turning it on. Boy, it's really taking a while for that thing to register. Oh, it's fast. Ooh, look at that. Oh, wait, was I supposed to catch that guy? No, I didn't catch him. Oh, no, he's rebuilding my... Oh, he's rebuilding my playfield, the little jerks. Okay, so they're enemies. They're my enemies. Look at him rebuilding. No. That's right. Oh, the green guy is back. Oh, no. Oh, come on. Boy, I'm sucking at breakout right now. It is not a skill I have honed recently. Oh! All right, let's try whatever the other game is on here. These look pretty similar to me. Oh, look at that. Oh, it goes all the way through. Oh, I like that. Now that I like that's pretty good, you know? Yeah, this one is much more destructive. Not worried about people with with light sensitivity induced seizures, eh? Okay. That's like a little insane. But that is fun. You're right. That is a good... What? Oh, come on. Oh, blackjack. Bet 1,000. How much are we betting? Up, down, left, right? Bet 2. Shuffling. All right, here we go. All right, we got 11. We got 11. Double. Hell yes. Yeah, we won, sucker. Bet. How much should we bet? What do you think? We did pretty good on that last one. We'll stick with 200, you know? Let's keep it at 200. Here we go. An 8 and a 10. I don't know. Can we stand? Hit? No, I guess. No. No. Hit? No. Enter. 0. End. Oh, I lost. It's funny that they don't have you. Maybe my no button doesn't work. I don't know. Oh, ace and 2. Hit. Let's see, that's 18. Gotta hit it again. 19. All right. Oh, 19 to 20? Come on. Come on. Yeah, buddy. I guess the dealer doesn't have to hit a soft 14 or a hard 14 or whatever. I'm okay with that. $16, gotta hit. Yes. Let's go all in. Let's hit it big. Oh my God. Come on, ace. Not an ace. Come on, 6. Ah. Let's see what he had. 17. Oh, well. You win some, you lose some, you know? So that's Las Vegas Blackjack. Pretty exciting, eh, everybody? 40-year-old game of blackjack. All right, I think this one talks. This is the Time Lord game.
This planet is mine. Defeat this hand.
Well, it kind of reminds me of like the opening.
Defend your world.
It reminds me of the opening of like a Galaga level where they kind of swoop around and you're sort of shooting them while they're shooting you. But I guess that is also Centipede-y like. I just love how colorful these games are. I just feel like the color quality and there's not as much flicker like compared to the 2600. It's a good system, you know. The games are a little bit basic, I think. I wonder if I can shoot those smart bombs. Oh, I can.
The earth will be mine.
More stuff to shoot.
Seize the planet.
This game could really use a tennis controller, you know, like a controller dial. Kind of surprised the system didn't come with one, considering how many of these games are like kind of Space Invaders-y type.
Conquer the world.
Conquer the world. But what does this have to do with this guy being a Time Lord? I mean, I'm assuming this is not a Doctor Who reference, but if does he control time? Is he coming from time? Is he going into the past? You know? And what's his challenge? Just to defeat his spaceship armada? You know? Oh boy.
Seize the planet.
Seize the planet. Yeah, I think the idea that the game would talk to you at the time this came out was probably so amazing. You know?
Goodbye, Earthling.
You know, and you're probably like, geez, he's got so many things he says. He doesn't just say the same thing over and over again. He's constantly coming at me with new phrases, you know?
Defend your world.
Oh, shit.
Seize the planet.
Seize the planet. Oh, okay. Miss me, sucker. Okay, well, but then what does that have to do with him taking over my planet? You know, why is he talking about my planet so much? if I cross the time stream.
Conquer the world.
Hey, it's Yangus. What's going on, Yangus? Well, I feel like the name Challenge of the Time Lord is evocative of something, right? Like, what are they trying to, you know? That's not a bad idea. I think that's going to be happening.
Your planet is doomed.
There is kind of that throbbing Space Invaders bass in this game. The kind of come on. Zip, zip, zap, zip, zap, zip, 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 zap, zip. Come on. Oh, come on, fucker. Ah! How am I... What? Ooh, I got him.
Goodbye, Earthling. Cease the
I immediately died. A little sip of Kirkland brand sparkling water there, you know? Oh, they're really dive bombing me now, you know? Aha, got you.
Goodbye, Earthling.
And that's the other thing is, like, I feel like even these games, I feel like they need another screen. Like, they're just, it's sort of like you get to the point where you're like, well, I guess this is this game. I'm just shooting these things like this, you know? But you gotta understand, it's a 40-year-old game, you know?
Conquer the world.
As Zane's dad keeps trying to remind me, you know? Turning off Attack of the Time Lord. Or Challenge of the Time Lord, or what is it? No. It is Attack of the Time Lord, sorry, not... See, but look at that cool box art, you know? It's a little shiny. That's pretty cool. I mean, he does kind of look... He looks more like... He doesn't look like a Time Lord. He looks like a... You know... What are those things called? A Dalek. You know? The lizard-like Daleks. We just had a space game. We got anything other than this? There's a lot of space games, I'll tell you that much. All right, let's try Invaders from Hyperspace. Hey, Colonel Chenault. Thanks for the follow. All right, this one is Invaders from Hyperspace. Let's take a look. Okay, looking a bit like an Asteroids clone, maybe? What do you think? Looks like I'm invisible. Set one. Oh. guy. Oh, you beat me. Invaders 1. Oh, yeah, maybe I'm supposed to be shooting the other guy. All right, well, so that's Invaders from Hyperspace. We got a little taste of it, you know? This is... what is this called? Alien Invaders Plus. What does this game look like to everyone, you know? Oh, I can't shoot these green things? I guess not. Oh, look at that alien invader. Look how scary he looks. Ah! Now I'm running around. How do I get my ship back? I immediately died. Oh, can I go up? Oh, that's how I do it. Okay. You have to like go up and you lose a base, but you get your... It's a war of attrition. You can't defeat me. Oh, he got me, the little jerk. Oh. Oh my God. All right, well, you can see where the plus comes in because this game has a lot of value. Oh, come on. Come on again. I feel like they kill you too fast. And you only get points for killing the main baddie. These other guys, I don't know what the point is. It looks pretty good, though. I gotta admit, my mod looks pretty good in HD. You gotta admit. Oh, that's their guns. I see. That's their guns. Okay. Okay. Now it's making a little more sense. Doesn't look like they descend like in Space Invaders, though, so there's not really... The only time limit is that the main guy himself comes down. Yeah, I got the mod working. I had some initial problems because I had run the audio to the cartridge slot in a way that was incorrect and was causing it not to load games. I fixed that. And then the other problem I had was that there was this... ground wire that had been connected to the RF cable, and I disconnected it when I took the RF thing out, and I thought it was needed for the grounding of the console itself, so I put it back on, and apparently it is not needed after the RF has been removed, because when I removed it, it worked fine. So I unsoldered and resoldered the entire mod, including like all 10 wires that go to the board and 10 wires that go to the DIN 8 connector. And in the end, it was just this one little wire here that was causing the problem. I had my multimeter out. I tested every single wire. I had connectivity, or continuity, I guess is the correct way to phrase that. And it just should have worked, and it just wasn't working. And then I was looking at it, and I was like, well, there isn't anything in that instructions about this thing. Maybe I shouldn't have put that back on. Let's just take it off and see what happens. But I was worried that, like, what if it needs that ground wire and I'm going to take that off and burn out the CPU or something like that? But that did not happen, and it ended up working. I really got to get Pickaxe Pete so I have some different genres besides space games. Let's change it up a little bit with some nice bowling, So right now here at Colonel Chenault, since I think you just came in, I don't think you saw this. This is the soldering desk. So I have the voice module plugged in on top, and then I'm running a mic to the speaker so that we can hear games that talk. Oh, look, this is 99 Lect game. Nope. Gameplay. There we go. Frame 1. Here we go. We're going to do some bowling. Okay, I had the wrong controller. Oh, not enough English. Not enough English. Frame 1. Player 2. What? I went right through some pins. Nope. Oh, you can? Okay, hold on. Oh, you can a little bit. Not a whole lot, but. Yeah, there we go. That was a good steer. All right. Thanks for the pro tip, Zane's dad. Yeah, the text looks really great. I actually think the 2X Pro might put some kind of comb filter or something on it that's making it a little crispier than it would be otherwise. But my TV is not going through the 2X, and it looks pretty crispy coming straight out of the box. So, I think that's just because this is one of those mods that pulls the info straight off of the digitizer chip, so that it's not being converted to analog. It's just going straight into, well, I mean, it is being converted to analog, but it's not going through an analog conversion before it gets output to RGB. It just gets raw converted straight out to the SCART cable. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Maybe I'm not making sense, I got 44 points. Nice. A little last minute English there, Pretty basic stuff. Not horrible. If this was at your cabin as a kid, I could see, spending a little time playing this at night, having fun. See, I don't. How are you supposed to get a strike? Like, the one thing this game doesn't seem to take into account is how the pins knock into each other. So like, how could I possibly, even if I hit it straight in the middle? It's weird. Wow, a game over screen. Usually these games just force you to reset, you know? Weird. Weird. All right, that's bowling. Just a little palate cleanse from all this space shooter stuff. Because now we're going right back into it with cosmic conflict. Oh, I missed him. Got that guy. Got you. Alert, alert. Oh, hold on. I'm getting attacked. I'm getting attacked. Nice. See that? There was a TIE fighter there. So there's like these kind of penis ships. Oh, I don't want to shoot. I'm accidentally shooting my own ships. Oh no. I'm shooting the Battlestar Galacticas. I'm the Cylons. What about this? What about that needle look? There's one. Come on. Ah! I think I got shot that time. Haha! I got him. I got that TIE fighter. Hey, it's LA Dad Red. How's it going, Red? Did you get your igneous hammer? There's a good gun in Trials today, so Red's playing some dangity, you know? That's true. You're definitely right about that, Zane's dad. I need to be a little bit nicer to it, you know? Whoa, you got almost 5 wins? Dang! With randos? You got the goods. She's got the goods this one. Yeah, I'm probably going to take a little bit of a break here coming up. And, you know. But then maybe I'll be back. Oh, wait. Message from Star Command. Okay. Please report for court martial. Oh, no. I got killed. All right, Red, since you're here, you want to hear one of the talking games? Let's do a talking game for Red. We'll go back to Casey's Crazy Chase, you know? Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. You know, I got to keep it right and tight. You know, around here. You know. All right. So Red, just to show you over on the solder desk, I have a microphone going in, recording the sound coming out of the voice module. The voice module sits on top of the Odyssey 2 and has a built-in speaker that has like a computer voice, and so that's going to let the game talk to us. But since it only comes out of the speaker, the only way I can get it on the stream is if I record it with the mic. So, you know, yeah, you know, body, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, that's right, you know?
All right. Go. Watch out.
All right, so you hear it's talking to me?
Watch out.
I'm the little blue guy, and I'm eating the tail of this caterpillar, snake. What do we think this is? Millipede?
Incredible. Go. Watch out. Watch out.
I like when he laughs and goes,
Watch out.
Incredible.
Hurry. Out. Oh, no.
I got eaten.
Go. Watch out. Hurry. Hurry. Run. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Incredible. Go.
Incredible.
Hurry.
Come on, go eat the thing.
Run.
It's too bad Crispy isn't here. I would show
Hurry.
Crispy how this guy has a Sonic-style idle animation, you know?
Out. Oh,
Oh.
no.
Thanks, Red.
Run.
Yeah,
Watch
it's
out.
there's no YouTube video of how to do this mod, so I'm gonna work on a YouTube video with a guide
Run.
for anybody
Watch
else that
out.
wants to
Watch
mod,
out.
because I think that Grips did a pretty good job of
Watch
taking
out.
pictures and stuff like that, but there's a few pitfalls that
Watch
I
out.
ran into. It's definitely doable, you know?
Incredible. Go.
Incredible. Incredible.
Incredible. Go. Watch out. Out. Oh, no.
Yeah, I did. I got a video of me fixing it. But in the YouTube, I'm
Watch
just going to
out.
edit it down so it's like 10 minutes long, because it took me like 2.5 hours to do the whole
Hurry.
thing. And I'm just going to touch on like, oh,
Watch
here's
out.
this goes here, this
Run.
goes
Watch
here.
out.
Look
Hurry.
at this. This should look
Watch
like
out.
this. This should look like that. All that kind of stuff, you know?
Watch out. Out. Oh, no. Go. Hurry.
Incredible.
Run. 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 Incredible. Go. Incredible. Go.
All right, Zane's dad.
Watch out. Out.
Thanks for the
No.
idea, and we'll see you on Discord.
Watch out. Watch out.
Tell Zane I said
Watch
hi.
out. Watch out. Run. Incredible. Go. Watch out.
All right, let's switch back over to talking head mode. Yeah, so that's the Odyssey 2. I played through almost all the games that I have for it, and I had a lot of fun modding it, and I'm excited to share it with everybody. And I'll probably try to get a copy of Pickaxe Pete or something like that, and do another Odyssey stream at some point. But yeah, I'm gonna go maybe have a little lunch, figure that out, and until I come back, have a nice weekend, and keep it retro. All right, bye everybody.